Well, hello, wealthy women. I have another beautiful success story interview to share with you. I'm very excited to introduce you to Beth, who is helping women around the world be able to find their best self, regardless of any type of circumstance that might be going on that they didn't expect, and how to get into their best self to go for their best life and be empowered. And go ahead, Beth, tell us a little bit more, little general overview of what you do and the name of your company and where they can find you.
Yeah. Well, I'm Beth Brunk, and I am so glad to be here. Thank you for having me.
My pleasure.
Um, you can find me in my little corner of the internet at bethbrunk.com. There are free resources there. There's a blog. There's also paid resources and how to contact me in order to coach with me. So what do? I work with women who have been cheated on. There's been infidelity within their marriage, whatever that looks like. Um, and I take them from surviving, walking around with intrusive thoughts, lack of energy, lack of focus. Maybe they're having nightmares, unable to sleep. And I take them from that to being present and thriving in their life.
I think it's so important the work that you're doing because whether, it is a situation where it could have been your partner that, let you down, or there's so many different ways in life that people don't show up as they said they would show up. And you give your everything to it, whether it's a work situation, a partnership, a friendship, you know, even parent child scenarios. And it doesn't always work out. We do tend to say, what did I do wrong? How could I have done this better? And we put the focus on ourselves, or we just get a little bit stuck sometimes in not being able to move forward because of the sting of it all, because we didn't see it coming. I personally had this when I had a back in the day, a corporate job. I was like the number one person at this job. And, you know, it just, they didn't treat me right because my salary was getting too high, and that rubbed, new management came in, and, they found a way to, make it not a fun place to be for me anymore. And I felt really betrayed by that because, first of all, I was doing such a great job and it didn't make sense to me. It was, you know, and I really stayed stuck for a while. I wasn't able to thrive, like you're talking about, because I felt wounded. I knew I didn't deserve it, but yet you do question yourself, well, could I have done this better? And you get stuck in a spin. And so I think the work that you're doing, no matter, what, there's a, you know, your focus, of course, is on relationship betrayals. And that is such a hard one because people are so emotionally invested. That's their safe space. That's their home, so to speak, for their soul. And so they never really feel like, that rug can be pulled out from under them. But of course, we know this does happen, unfortunately. And I love that your focus on is not on them staying stuck, but having them be empowered. And that empowerment is a thread that is important no matter what the circumstances. So, maybe if Beth's work doesn't directly relate to you in that personal circumstance of relationship, her teachings can still help you become empowered. She's coaching women to get through any kind of you can apply to any kind of betrayal. And I wanted to know, like, what are some of your success tools for um someone taking back their power, getting back out of the spin, out of the bad focus? Like, can you give one tip to somebody, no matter what the betrayal might have been? Like I said, whether it's from family or work or partnership, is there one key thing that someone can start to do right now after listening to this that would give them some sort of empowerment to kind of move that needle forward and get through and get on a new positive path?
Yes. Well, first of all, um, every decision that we make is like the world is our pond. And when we make a decision, it's like we've tossed a pebble or a rock into the pond and then the ripples go out, right? So
Mhm.
we all know that analogy. We all know what happens when we throw something into water and the ripples go out. And they start small, close to where you dropped that, and then they just get bigger and bigger. And you can till they eventually they're lapping at the edges of the pond and they're going up on the shore. Every decision that we make is like that. It's like we've dropped a pebble into water and the ripples start. We feel them in our home. So in the case of being cheated on or your husband infidelity, that you feel that right there immediately. You feel it. You can tell something's different. And his decision to do that doesn't just affect you and the family, but then it ripples out to the rest of the world, whether that is in the decisions that he's making or whether it's in the things that take place in you and in your home. So, one thing that I always tell women is he has a choice. He made the choice to cheat on you, and it doesn't have anything to do with you. It's about him making choices, choosing to drop that into the pond of life and sending out those ripples. Now, how you respond to that is your choice, but you don't need to take on his choices and his behavior and internalize them to become your problem because they're his problem.
That's true. That's true. Okay, so what I want to do is get into some of the success questions now. This is specifically on how you build your business and how, some of the things that, whenever we basically we want to make sure that women feel inspired to go for their business dreams, right? And sometimes they get stuck because they think that, oh, they're afraid or you know, that someone else hasn't experienced it before. And so the questions will let them know that you as a businesswoman also had to go through some of those moments and they're not alone and they should stay on course to build the business of their dreams. So let me go ahead and ask you the first question. And this is all basically about business and business, building your business and business success. So would you agree that your mindset and how you think about your business and your goals is more important than systems and strategies or less important?
Oh, both are important, but your mindset, your belief in yourself and your belief in the product that you're offering come before the systems and the strategies.
Yes, I always agree with you on with this question because your mindset's everything. It's how you kind of wake up in the world and your purpose, your soul's feeling of what you want to accomplish. And then once you have that in place, you can start to figure out like the systems and strategies that support that. But yeah, mindset to me is everything. So, um, what is one of the ways that you like to practice like getting into your best mindset? Do you have a morning routine that you like to do or specific way that you make sure that your mindset is strong and focused on building your business?
Yes, so I do have a morning routine. Um, I have a strong faith in the Lord, and so I start every morning with I've actually the last few years been listening to the Bible and we read and we can read over things so easily. And so I've been listening. And so I listen to the Bible and I pray and I journal and I take time to really ground myself and center myself and be ready for the new day. Let everything from yesterday stay in yesterday
Yes.
and accept the new mercies of the new morning and move forward into my new day.
I love that. That's really powerful. Like, and it's not the easiest thing to be able to shake off, yesterday or what should have been done or wasn't done properly and we give ourselves a hard time. But you are so correct because if we don't clear that energy, then we are not fully present 100% in this gift of the new moment. And, that's a beautiful way. I love that. I think that's a beautiful way to start the day. Absolutely. A lot of times I'll have women want to know when they start their business. Let's say they don't necessarily have the funds yet, but they want to market their business. They know that it's important to get it out there. What were some of your first ways that you started marketing your business that did not involve any kind of cost, that were free ways of doing it?
Well, word of mouth is always free. Your own social media is free. Yes, you can do paid ads, but you don't have to pay anything to have a page on Instagram or Facebook or LinkedIn or Alignable. And doing reels and doing content, that's all free. Yes, it takes time, but you're not putting any money out.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that can always come later. And I think it's important also to do a lot of self-marketing and free marketing first to get a real feel for what you're trying to say to the world, how you want to communicate, noticing what is really appealing to some people, what isn't resonating. Because then if you later go down the line to do paid ads or something like that, you want to make sure that you are really on point with your content and what you're trying to communicate, because you don't want to waste your dollars, right? Especially with Facebook ads and so forth. So I think that a little trial and error in the beginning is necessary. And I think also women should realize that all of us entrepreneurs absolutely make occasional financial mistakes. We invest in the wrong thing, or we buy a program or a coaching package, and then we really kind of put it to the side and we don't do anything with it. This is the case for most everyone. And sometimes someone might even come along and they might not be in a good business sense where they take advantage of you. But what I see a lot of women do is stay stuck in that where they don't want to have any faith to move forward, right? And try again. But you have to. I think that it's sort of like, I kind of like compare it like, we have a car, we drive our car. At some point, we're going to get a flat tire. It's not personal. It happens. So will you not drive a car anymore because you don't want to replace the tire? That car is going to take you places, right? So unfortunately, sometimes, ladies, you will have someone who doesn't deliver on their promises, that you buy something that doesn't serve you, you so-called waste money, okay? You got to forgive yourself and still move forward and accept that's part of the process. That's part of how it is. And you'll learn and you'll do better and you'll figure it out. And that's kind of that trial and error because, it's just part of it. So I think a lot of times people are afraid to move forward with investing in themselves because they say, I don't know how to trust myself anymore because I made this mistake with this person. They took advantage of me, or they took my money and they didn't deliver. But focus more on the 90% or 80% of the things that went right than the 20% that went wrong, because this is your business and you need to drive this vehicle forward. And we do need ads or marketing and things like that, right? Would you suggest that is true?
Well, and I would like to add that I don't ever look at it as wasting money
Yeah.
because there's lessons that are learned. And
Mhm.
more than likely, you got something, whatever it was, and maybe exactly what you needed from that, whatever it was, course or coaching or whatever. So you didn't actually waste any money.
Mhm.
And looking at to say that I've wasted money is a scarcity mindset.
So I'm so glad you caught this.
And
Excellent.
I I have worked so hard to not have a scarcity mindset, but to have a mindset of abundance. And so to say that I wasted money on something is not a mindset of abundance, because waste means that it can never be gotten back. But
Mhm.
money is always flowing. So you're not wasting your money, you're learning lessons, and money will flow to you again.
Beth, I could not have said it better, because this, I'm a money mindset coach, and this is exactly what I tell any of my clients and myself. But I know that mentality because I think we all start there in the beginning, and it takes a little while for us to fix that into that abundance mindset, right? And so I love that you just addressed that, because again, it goes back to mindset. Mindset is everything. Your perception of any scenario is where you're going to find your power. And yeah, so keeping that mindset on abundance, no matter what it is, choosing the wrong person that hurts you, or having a business ad that didn't produce any revenue, something like that. These are all steps to your journey that you're meant to get to and be a part of so that you can bless others, but it does require an abundance mindset. So in all things, I love that. Really, I really love that. What you just said. I want to ask you, what qualities do you think, like, what top two qualities do you think every entrepreneur should have before they maybe embark on even building their business?
Top two qualities. Um, First of all, you need to be willing and okay with taking risk. And that's related to money. And also be willing to learn. You don't have all the answers, obviously, and no one person has all the answers. So be willing to learn from others to get the answers and not be proud and think I have to do this all alone.
Yes, exactly. Asking for help. That's a big one. It's not the easiest thing because we feel sometimes we should be able to do everything, and or we just think we're going to do it better and it's easier than teaching someone else to do it. But the long-term problem of that is burnout and lack of scalability. So if you really want your business to grow, you have to get comfortable with releasing some of that control, and that's not easy for a woman to do that. For most women to do, for probably most humans to do.
Yeah.
I think that's just intrinsic in us, that we just believe that we're the best person for the job, and that may be the case. um, but sometimes it's better to have somebody do something maybe 20% not as good as you, but because they've taken this role to do the thing and it freed you up to do the things that you're really good at. Now you're growing your business, you're helping more people, and you're able to get your message out there to the masses. So this actually brings me to the question of, a lot of us tend to focus on perfectionism, this especially in the beginning of a business build. I know, like for myself, every single thing had to be perfect on my website. I was obsessed. I could spend 14 hours sitting in a chair making sure everything lined up perfectly. And that's busy work. It's necessary, some of it, but sometimes, can you give advice on how to recognize perfectionism, especially when it's covering up as busy work, where you really think you're building a business, but what you're really doing is so-called pushing papers on your desk, and you're really not moving that needle forward?
Well, I have a motto, done is good enough.
Mm,
You can always go back and perfect, but done is good enough. For example, I had my website done. I had everything all done. And then somebody said something about SEO, and I was like, I don't know what that is. And ended up in my county that there's someone that lives here that he loves to work with women, or not women, but he loves to work with people in his county who have websites and help them with their SEO. And so I contacted him and he was like, oh yeah, you need to do this and you need to do that. And I was like,
yeah.
more? Like,
Yeah. It never
really
ends.
thought I was done. It was good enough, but it wasn't. I found out that it wasn't actually good enough to be found on the web. And so I had to go back and do that to fix those things. Um, but if you find yourself thinking that everything has to be perfect and it's just busy work, stop and ask yourself, what am I avoiding? What am I avoiding that I'm staying in my comfort zone and I'm not actually putting myself out there to build my business, but I'm deluding myself into thinking that that's what I'm doing by doing this busy work.
Yes, yes. And that just comes down to being afraid to, I think, get visible and really make it a real thing. And so how did you, like, a lot of times women will go through the whole imposter syndrome They're afraid to go online, let's say their first Facebook Live or Instagram Live. How did you get past that discomfort? Because I believe it is discomfort in the beginning. And then I think you just hit a stride and it comes pretty quick. But what was your experience for that?
Well, the first workshop that I ever did online was with, I believe it was called Any Meeting, like back in 2012, 2000, it would have been 2012. I was pregnant with morning sickness. I have severe morning sickness, was laying in bed, and I taught a class on Any Meeting.
Wow, that's dedication.
So I just did it. I'm one of those people that I decide to do something and I just jump in feet first. And then I'm like, oh yeah, I need to learn how to swim first.
Mhm.
But
I
I
love
am one of
that.
those people that I just jump in and start, and then I'm
Yep.
like, oh, I don't know how to swim. But you know what? Here I am, uh, 12 years later, and I know how to swim now. I do meetings. I'm online all the time
Yeah.
doing classes or teaching something via Zoom or something like that. So just start. And
Just
if it's
start.
not perfect, again, done is good enough.
I
Just
love
get
that.
started.
It kind of leads me into another thing that I think we can struggle with, and that is pricing. So often we get really stuck in that, right? Yeah, pricing is a big one. And I I forget what coach said it, but it was like just choose a price. You can always raise it later. It's you can always lower it later, whatever it is. It's sometimes we think our choice is stuck in stone for the rest of the days and we can't maneuver it, and that is not true. From website needing SEO to pricing of your package, everything can evolve. And I think that's what would be helpful for most women to really understand is a business is an evolution. It's a breathing thing. It's not meant to stay the same. You grow, it grows. You get better, it gets better. Um, it can change completely, and that is okay. The most important thing is kind of like what you mentioned in the beginning when you have your morning routine. You have a brand new day, just make it just the best you can, do the best you can, and then check in on yourself. How did it go? What could maybe be improved tomorrow on the new day? What was so good? I got to do it again. Remember to give yourself compliments and credits for all the things that you are doing. Sometimes we also tend to focus on, we can do eight things right and two things wrong. And we may tend to focus on the two things we did wrong. And in one way, there's some benefit to that because that means you really want to improve and it's going to get better. And we should be paying attention to these details and so forth, but not at the expense of not giving ourselves credit because we need to reward ourselves for a job well done. So, do you have any practices for how, you reward yourself when you do some accomplishment in your business journey where you stop to recognize what you did right?
Well, I'm always telling myself, my children, and others around me to speak life. Speak life over yourself. So, so you did eight things right, but you did two things wrong. Let those two things go. Speak life. Acknowledge the good and allow the negative to just be done. It's okay. Go back and fix it later. It's
Love
okay.
this. I love this. You're allowing so much grace in the way you are going. That's beautiful because there is no reason we need to be so hard on ourselves. We should just put the light on ourselves and go forward and, keep in that positive energy, which is going to fuel us and help us help others even more. So well said, really. My last question for you is, what would be your number one professional tip for women business owners to grow their business? If they can only choose one thing, what would you suggest to them?
Confidence. Confidence in yourself, confidence in your product, confidence in your ability, confidence in um, the model that you've chosen, confidence in all areas.
Yeah.
And often we lack confidence. And it can feel like pride to say, oh, look, I did this so well. That's not pride.
Yeah.
That's going back to that speaking life over yourself. It's okay. And find friends who will celebrate that with you. And if you are down on yourself in those, I did these two things wrong today, and you're down on yourself and you're really being unkind to yourself, make sure you have friends that when you share that with them, they're going to say, yeah, but look at all of this. Woohoo, good job, you
Yes.
did it.
Yes.
And they're going to call you out on your negativity towards yourself. But
Yes.
seriously, confidence.
Yes. Love this. Beth, thank you so much. I want to say to all the women out there, if you have a broken heart, don't put the brakes on your life, because you can heal your own broken heart, and then you can just have such a full heart, full life experience. Focus on the blessings, focus on the road forward. Reach out to Beth. She can help you if you're going through something a little bit tender right now. And just listen to the words of wisdom she spoke about building your business, because you have a purpose so that you can show up for yourself, for your family, for others, and be of service. And do not let yourself get in your own way. Be focused on bringing the life energy, the light energy, the confidence energy, the empowerment. And you never have lost your empowerment. It might be a little bruised, but you'll get it back. And reach out to Beth, and she'll help you through that. And I just want to say thank you so much, Beth, for being here and sharing and being a real inspiration. I mean, you are just exuding lightness and encouragement and inspiration. And I am really happy that you are going to be a blessing to all those who get a chance to listen and hear this interview. So thank you so much for being here. Yeah.
Thank you, Tamara.
Thank you. Okay, well, wealthy women, another inspirational success story. You know, just know that no matter what it is in life, sometimes we got a green light and we're going, and sometimes there's a stoplight that comes for us. No one knows whatever that stoplight might mean for you. It's temporary. And eventually you get the yellow light and the green light, you'll be back in action again. Just keep moving forward. I mean, really, that is the in all of life's lessons, just keep moving forward. That's what you need to mostly just do. Focus on the good and keep moving forward, and you'll find your way. A new path, maybe, new road you're going to take, new place you're going to be, new journey you're going to be on, but it'll be okay. You will be okay. Just keep moving forward with positive energy and be the blessing that you are. So that's all I have for this episode. And I will see you next time on the next success story interview. Bye for now.